could you tell us how to get the fuel oil from tears and plastic, Michelle?
Okay, no problem. In fact, behind us is our 12-ton capacity demo machine, right? And the plastic and the tears are made of the hydrocarbon polymers. And during the pyrolysis, the long polymers will be break down into the small ones, which is the fuel oil.
Yes.
And you will also get other end product, the carbon black. Yes,
okay.
But if your material is with the tear, you will also get the steel wheels as the final product.
Yes, it is the principle of recycling plastic and tears, and we can get the fuel oil. We mainly get the fuel oil from our pyrolysis plant. Customers will sell it to benefit. Do you know fuel oil, Michelle?
Of course, the fuel oil is a kind of very good heating fuel.
Yes.
It has a very high calorific value, even more than 10,000 kcal per kilogram. Yes, and it can also be used as the fuel of the cement factory, glass factory, boiler factory, and even can be used to the heavy oil generator.
Yes.
And so on. And we also have the SGS testing report for the fuel oil. It's very professional.
Okay. Let's take a look here.
Yes.
This is fuel oil from tears. We can use it directly. Many customers are worried about the quality of the fuel oil, so we make some reporter. This is the reporter from SGS. Here are some detailed information on it. There are some difference from different material. This is from West Plastic. It is from tears. We can use it directly.
Yes. And please take a look of this. Except the fuel oil, we also get the carbon black and the steel wheels from with the tear pyrolysis, right? And the carbon black can be used as can be sold directly,
yes.
or you can make the further process for it.
Yes.
Please take a look at this. This is the ball of the carbon black.
Yes, as usual, we can get carbon black powder from our pyrolysis plant. We also can provide customers a machine to make the carbon black powder into a ball. We also can sell it to benefit.
Yes, and the carbon black is also a very good heating fuel. It also has a high calorific value, right?
Yes.
And more than 7,000 kcal per kilogram. It's even higher more than the normal coal, and it can be sold as the substitute of the coal.
Yes.
Okay, now we will introduce the different material. If your material is, the oil yield of the different material is different. So if you use the tears as the material, then the oil yield is from 45% to 52%. And if you use the pure PE, PP, and PI, the oil yield is very high, can be over 90%.
Yes.
Yes, but if you use the pure ABIs and the pure plastic bags, then the oil yield is relatively lower.
Yeah.
It's just about 30% to 40%. And if your material is some maxed garbage plastic, then the oil yield is only 30% to 50%. And the oil yield mainly depends on the quality of your material. The process is like this. You put the material through the feeding door into the reactor. You can see that the diameter of our feeding door is 1.4 meters.
Yes, 1.4 meters.
Yes.
Just that means we can put the whole tears into the reactor directly.
Yes, and then the reactor is composed of two parts.
Yes.
The insulation cover and the inner body.
Yes, inner body.
Yes, and they are made of the professional carbon steel Q245, right?
Yes.
And then the tears and the plastic in the reactor will be pyrolyzed at a certain temperature.
Yes.
And produce the oil gas. Then the oil gas will get out through the outlet. We can notice that the diameter of the outlet is also the 1.5 meters.
Yes.
And the same diameter of the outlet and the feeding door can promise that the reactor will be operated more stable, and no damage to the roller. Yes, and we even have the patent for this design. the same diameter of the outlet and the feeding door. This is our patent. Okay, then the oil gas will through some.
Yes, the oil gas will through
devices.
this pipe into our bubble tank. There are some safety devices in our machine. Please look at here. This is a temperature map. We can check the oil gas temperature in time.
Yes.
This is a pressure
gauge.
Yes, this is a pressure gauge. The machine operates under the normal pressure.
Yes.
And we can set a point. If the temperature and the
pressure.
if the pressure is up to date, the pressure also will release extra to ensure that our machine operates normally.
Yes, and with the pressure over the normal point, the system will alarm directly.
Yes.
And it's very safe. Then the oil gas will get through the buffer chamber, then get into our cooling system. Please take a look of our cooling system. Okay, our cooling system are composed of total 7 condensers.
Yes.
Right, and there are total 4-step cooling. This is the first step cooling with 2 vertical condensers. Then the oil gas from this will be cooled down into liquid oil and stored in the first oil tank.
Yes.
Yes, and this is the second step cooling with 1 oil water separator.
Yes.
Yes, it's a very important safety device. It's to avoid the oil gas flowing back, and the liquid oil cooled down from this will be stored in the second oil tank temporarily.
Yes.
And this is our third step cooling with 2 very big horizontal condensers.
Yes.
Yes, and there are many shell tubes in the condensers.
Little tubes indeed.
Yes, and the oil from this will be stored in the solid oil tank. So there are total 3 oil tanks. Okay, now let's see. This is the 4th step cooling.
Cooling
Fourth
tower.
step cooling, yes. It's cooling tower to promise that all the oil gas can be cooled down to the liquid oil. And then, after all the oil gas has been cooled down to the liquid oil, there are also some non-condensable gas produced, right?
Yes.
Yes, and we call it tail gas.
Yes, tail gas.
Yes, and this is a very important safety device to avoid the tail gas flowing back.
Yes.
Yes, and then the tail gas will recycle to the
tail gas. Okay. Tail gas is a good fuel, but we can use it as fuel to our reactor, but we need to clean it at first. Okay. Let me introduce this device. We call it gas removal device. It is composed of 3 parts. This is a bubble tank, spare tower, and a water seal.
There are total 2 spare part tower, right?
Yes. And the tail gas pass through this bubble tank to slow down the speed. After that, pass through the spill tower. There are some provisional packing in it, which has some little holes. It can disperse the tail gas and release some provisional catalyst to clean it. After that, we can get the clean tail gas and through this device, water cell, to recycle to our reactor as fuel to heating.
Yes, and this is a very important environmental protection devices.
Yes.
And you know that many countries in the world pay more attention to the environmental protection now. So the equipment with no environmental protection devices will be abandoned by the customers.
Yes.
Right? And so we even have the patent for these environmental protection devices.
Also have patent.
Yes, this is a patent for these devices. Our company pay much attention to the
environment?
Yeah, to the environmental protection. Yes, then we will show you another very important safety devices. Okay, this is the vacuum system. It's a very important safety devices. It's used to extract the remaining oil gas in the reactor after the pyrolysis process be finished. Yes. And if the oil gas won't be extracted out, then when you open the feeding door, the oil gas will meet the air and may cause the explosion. It's very dangerous.
Yes.
And if the oil gas remain in the reactor, when you open the cooling system for the reactor, it may reduce the effect of the cooling system.
Yes.
Yes, and prolong the cooling time for the reactor.
Yes.
Yes. And we also have the patent for this device. Please take a look. So our company mainly pay much attention to the safety and the environmental protection, right?
Yes.